Good morning and welcome to a new episode of Tidbits of Tasty Tuesdays. Now, someone told me I speak really fast, so I'm really trying to get my speed very low. However, let's get into business. Have you ever started recording something or working on something? You knew for sure this is something you're ready to do, but somehow a few minutes down the line, the whole bit of you just refused to coordinate. Your hands were not willing to write, your mind was not focusing, your eyes were feeling sleepy, and this is not something you were forced to do, but something you willingly did. It happened to me last Tuesday. Last Tuesday, as I was preparing to do the episode of Tidbits of Tasty Tuesdays, I got to a point where I couldn't continue any longer. And I asked myself, what could this be all about? I'd done half of a project, I'd done all the notes that I needed to do, and I was ready to do the presentation. However, somehow that did not work out for me and I had to stop. I didn't want to bring along anything to you that is half-baked. So I asked myself, what shall I do? And I remembered something. When I was around 15 or 16 years old, I used to do poetry in high school. And at one point when I was presenting during the practice time, during the practice period, it used to come between January and April. So around that season, we would practice with our teachers, with students. And I remember this teacher telling me, I'd done my presentation, and he called me back on stage again, and I did the presentation, and he just kept nodding. He wasn't there. He said, I couldn't feel you. And all of a sudden he said, do what you have to do so as to do what you need to do. And he threw me off stage, just like that. And I walked out and I said, do what you have to do so as to do what you need to do? And for a long time, that did not make sense. And when we had finished with the session, I walked down the corridors, I was walking back to the dormitory. I was in a boarding school. And I met with the teacher again, and he was carrying this long cane. In my days, we had canes as a way of ruling in schools. And he just pointed the huge cane at me and said, like, get back your mojo. And I'm like, oh, okay, like, what's the furiousness about it? What's wrong with this guy? And I went to the dining hall, had my food, and when I was, like after preps, when I went to bed, these things started coming back into my mind, and I remembered him saying, do what you have to do so as to do what you need to do. He emphasized on the need to do. So I asked myself, what do I need to do? What I needed to do was to present the poem in such a way that everybody would feel me. That when I spoke, it came from the inside. I wasn't forcing it, but I was being the character. And I realized when he said, like, get back your mojo, that's what he was saying, get back your charm. Why? Because every time I stepped on stage, everybody listened. It was pin drop silence, and everybody listened to this magnificent Magdalene presenting the poetry of the year. And after I'd finished, they would go clapping, and there was a standing ovation, and everybody was excited. The jubilation was beyond the words of man. Now you can imagine this teacher having seen me 2 years down the line when I was in Form 1 and Form 2, and this is Form 3, and I couldn't get the mojo, and he was disappointed. And this happened to me last week. I started preparing the lesson of the day. I started preparing and I got the cameras on, and well, I just used my laptop camera. I got it wiped and I was getting ready, and the charm wasn't there. The mojo was gone. And that's why today's message is get back your mojo. And how do you do that? You do what you have to do in order to do what you need to do. What do you need to do? Do you need to write a new script? Do you need to write the new set of words for your spoken word? Do you need to go and dance? Do you need to go to class and teach? Do you need to go and repair a certain car, but your spirit is not there? And every time you try to do it, somehow it does not connect. What do you have to do in order to do what you need to do? What do I have to do so as to do what I need to do? Personally, what I needed to do last time was to prepare the lesson, but I couldn't do that because I hadn't done what I had to do. What did I have to do? I needed to look at my previous speeches. I needed to look at the videos I'd done over and over so that the spirit of speaking would come back to me. The spirit of me being able to speak to you would come back to me. My charm would, the magic would have to come and rise again in me. Now I'm preparing for spoken word for the 26th of March in my church. It's going to be a women's service. And I volunteered to do spoken word. I haven't done this in a long time. So what I'm doing, what I have to do right now is to listen to other speakers, to other spoken word artists, and specifically females. So I'm doing my research. That's what I have to do. I have to do my research. I need to listen to those women and those ladies, those young girls speak out. And I'll be able to reconstruct my words. And I'll be able to recite them. That's what I have to do, so as to do what I need to do. What is the need? The need is for me to be able to present properly on 26th, to have a message for the people who are going to be listening in church. What do you have to do? Maybe you need to go to class and teach, and it's maybe one of those very tough courses, and your students are not very excited. Maybe you need to go and watch another teacher teach. It probably will psych you up to just realize the way they gesticulate, to realize that this is something you have been doing, but your charms are dead because you're not able to do that at that moment. So go and do what you have to do. Go and look for that thing that inspires you to do what you need to do. You need the inspiration. You need to wake the magic and the charm in you through the inspiration. I listened to the speaker saying, like inspiration or motivational speaking and taking a shower, more or less the same thing. If I motivate you today, if I inspire you today with my message, a few days down the line you might not feel like you're inspired. So you need to go and listen to the message again. You need to continue with the inspiration messages so as you can be able to do what you need to do. And when he said that these inspirational messages tend to wear out the same way a shower does, I'm rephrasing the word, but I actually came to realize that this is what causes us to slow down. When the motivation is no longer existing, the mojo tends to die down. So maybe as I tell you today, to go and do what you have to do, go and get the inspiration. Go and listen to the inspirational messages. Go and walk along the beach. Do what you need to do. Go and take your body off the place you are in right now and walk there and go and do it. Because when you're leaving the beach, when you come back to the house and when you're ready to sit down and construct the lecture of the day or to write down that book, the ideas will be fresh. Until you do what you have to do, until you get your mind to the inspiration, then what you need to do will not come back. The mojo will not be coming back anytime soon. So let me tell you what, my friend, don't give up on that project. It's not yet time to give up on that project, because there's never that time to give up on that project. As long as you can do what you have to do, so as to do what you need to do, go and get back your mojo, get back your charms, get back your magic, because that's what you need to do. Thank you very much. We hope to see you in the next episode of Tidbits of Tasty Tuesdays. For now, it's bye.